Man, hold up, y'all. Let me take it down because it ain't. Yeah. Boom. Okay. Nah, nah, not right there. So much goings on. What's up with the y'all think that was actually a meteorite that hit what's the name of the place? Grand something. And you gonna try to do a build about it and you don't know the name of the location where it happenings. How do you work? Okay, okay. So let's see. Now is what I call a repeat. You know, I should start calling it a nine peat, being that it's happened multiple times over and over, and we get our patties in a bunch. You know what I mean? Like it's some new situations. Like they're utilizing new tactics in order to trigger us. You know what I'm saying? They have some new tools, some new technology in order to get it to us just like that. You know what I'm talking about? Because before I even began to go off, you know what I mean, on the situation with the Kanye, you know what I'm saying? Like more news has developed. You know what I'm saying? So look, y'all, I've said I would at the very least put it down to thousands of times I've said that the Eurasians, or whatever you want to call the invaders, the pale ones specifically, Slavics specifically, since we're talking about your boy, you know what I mean? And eventually his ex-wife will come into the conversation depending on how much time I spend on this evening. You know what I'm saying? But again, we've seen this. This is a repeat for sure. So, or a 9-peat, since 9 is the highest number. Any other number, you know what I'm saying, is a combination of numbers. But as far as a singular number, 9 is the highest number, right? Hey, everything in English is debatable. Just about. Period. That's, that I felt like what I termed as a master degree or the master degree is the fact that 99% of the listening audience is not trilingual or multilingual. Some of you are habla español, Buenos días, ¿cómo estás? Muchas gracias. De nada. You know what I'm talking about? Like, nada. But to overcome in leaps and bounds as to where we should be as a people, more of us are supposed to be trilingual and beyond just being bilingual. Many of other people from various nations come here, and the vast majority of them are at the very least bilingual. Very least. They may speak their language, from their particular descent, as well as English. I call it English. You know what I'm saying? But again, the vast majority of the listeners, and even of, if you want to attach a label to brothers and sisters who have some knowledge of self, y'all call it woke, y'all call it consciousness and conscious community. I'm from the old school. I just call it knowledge of self. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Because in order to overcome any of this, any of this BS, you gotta have knowledge of self. It goes beyond, okay, you're just gonna learn self, whether you're talking about your anatomy, how you say that? Anatomy, did I say that properly? In English, y'all. Like I said, this will be a very, very, very extended bill. So let me get back to where I was at. Y'all have heard me, those that know me, have heard me make the statement that when the Eurasians or the Europeans or whatever you're going to label them, when they arrived to these shores, even during that era, what they would call the 15th century. 15th century. We were just talking about this not too long ago, where I was. Many people don't care about some of this shit. That's fine. Okay, that's cool. We know where to see you at. You know what I'm saying? Which will be nowhere within any actual movement that's actually doing groundwork from the bottom to the top. Again, you hear me say that these people did not have the science of purifying water and preserving food. I even showed you how to prove this. What else am I talking about? They call 1485 for them, or anything in the 1400s is what, the 15th century, right? If we're talking about something from 1342, Gregorian calendar, what do they say? They say 14th century, right? Trying to push that time up a little bit, for them to have some actual existence is what I say. But anyway, let me go back. The purification of the water and the preservation of the food, they did not possess these sciences, right? So I told you how to prove this. You go back and you watch a biography called, what's the name of it? And it's called A Biography of America, right? If you want some facts. If you want some facts mixed in with some Hollywood shit, which is still going to prove what I'm saying to be a fact, or at least it was written. You watch The New World with Colin Farrell and whoever else. You know what I'm talking about? Their version of Captain John Smith, the white slave, and all of this and all of that. Well, just the slave, I wouldn't have to say white, because we don't talk about the white and the black. You see where my comments at? Let me back up a little bit. Boom. So, yeah, I can't show that. So, let's show that right quick. Because we're going to get into the comment that y'all boy made concerning being labeled as black. And then after being labeled as black, being told what not the personification, but the attitude or whatnot of so-called black people is. How we display, we'll just say love or any type of emotion and all of this and all of that, right? This is what he said. See, it got my Moes, which y'all call Moors, all ready to say that this man is, he's waking up, but he got some knowledge of self. You know what I'm saying? Is that glass over there? The glass? The glass I usually be drinking out of when I'm not drinking my smoothie out the styrofoam, which I know is not, not healthy or whatnot. Right? Drinking out the styrofoam. But it's a smoothie. I'm trying to keep the smoothie smooth and icy, right? But again, let's back up a little bit so we can go forward with this conversation. And let me just fast forward through it. The preservation of the food and the purifying of the water. Now, when you look at the documentary, the PBS documentary, it's called, A Biography of America is the name of this documentary, right? And it states that the same way when, I don't know, it would have to be at the beginning of The New World with the actor Colin Farrell. Colin, what's his name? Farrell, not the football player, not Kaepernick. I'm talking about the actor, right? In the beginning of the movie, they're showing that when these invaders got to these shores of what we call the East Coast or whatnot, they starved to death, right? So when one or two of them would die from starvation, they would bury. That's what they said. But I think they lying, because why would you bury a body only to dig it up and eat it? Again, if these people did not have the science of purifying water and preserving food to the point to where when they first supposedly touched these shores, that they were starving to death, right? So if you're starving to death and you're the type of individual that will participate in cannibalism because you're so starving, you're not going to bury the body and then dig it up only to eat it. This is what they said in the documentary, A Biography of America, right? And peace to the God, Brother Alim Bey, because Dr. Alim L. Bey, because back in 2006, he was actually the first person I heard. I was wrong about that year, though, because the book didn't come out. Literature known as the Delectable Negro. Delectable. What is delectable? See, we ain't gonna go through all the little nuances. I want to get directly to it, but I can't. I can't get directly to it because, look at what I'd call the bill. Just the title alone. Like, I've got multiple names within that title. So one evening with I is not going to get through all of this. And it's a lot. I got a lot of photos and everything. But you cannot. Look here. Let's go back. The purification of the water and the preservation of the food. They didn't have the science, right? So they were starving to death when they got here, and they would eat their wives and their children and all of this shit. This not no biblical time shit. You're talking 16, 19, and you know what I'm saying? You're talking, I don't want to say 1493. To show me in 1493 where there was any communications in between, and I don't know everything. That's why when I post it, I say, come help y'all sister out with this bill. I don't know everything. Certain things my memory is very keen on. You know what I'm saying? And then other things maybe not so much. It's like a refresher's course for all of us, you know what I'm saying, who have been into what we call knowledge of self for a minute. You know what I'm saying? When I say a minute, I mean at least a dime. You at least got 10 years or more, and I'm not excluding anybody. It's not what we're here for. What type of uplifting, you know what I'm saying, what we be doing if we're only targeting or supporting those who have, you know, gotten to a certain level already. But again, the purification of the water and the preservation of the food, right? If they, who taught them that science? Answer the question, who taught them that science? I say it was another brother or sister that was like a Kanye. Don't shoot me yet. I want you to hold on to your thought, right? Hold on to your thoughts. Because don't try, we have, y'all call it dirty Moors or traders, people who aren't at the level of knowledge of self that you and I are, still calling people times and coons. I never use the word coon. And what's the other? All of us by now know not to use Uncle Tom as a derogatory term, referring to your brothers and your sisters as traders, because Uncle Tom wasn't a trader. They didn't show. And then this is how fucked up we is. The same way we'll take these entertainers and use them, you know what I'm saying, as some type of example of someone to be praised or given the attention, or $300 or $400 for a goddamn shoe or whatever. Knowing y'all ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got it like that. Even if you could afford to buy 10 or 20 pair of Yeezys a month, eventually that shit gonna catch up with you. The same way all of this shit is about to catch up. You know what I'm saying? With all of us well, I ain't gonna say all of us, because I ain't got shit to do with that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna point out some of the obvious this evening. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no hatred for that man. Although, you know, a lot of the shit that he does, it is, to me, you know, sometimes we gotta start disowning people. You notice what I said about Ketanji and who else I say? OJ. I don't give a fuck if we was, peace be upon him, we was talking about MJ. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people don't represent you at all. And that's never been their job or their position, right? But the problem, well, the biggest problem out of all of this is this. Now, if you're talking about a Trump, or what the guy I see her call him Thump, and peace be upon him, Baba Dick Gregory call him Thump, and Trump says two different ones of them and all that. I don't even get into all that, because y'all know I don't really, you know what I'm saying, I don't rock with that shit at all. You know what I'm saying? I just don't, because I know the source. This is what I keep continuously telling y'all. See, y'all look at groups like the Proud Boys and the Oath Takers and what's the other ones? Whoever the ones is. To me, when you say shit like that, what you saying is the police, the KKK, the neo-Nazis. That's all the fuck you're saying. Because when you look at the January 6th, we gonna go tell the people who we voted in the office what the fuck to do, because we think we the people. You know what I'm saying? And don't know that you are the persons. They the persons too. Which is why they're so angry right now. Although all of them do not, everybody don't have this knowledge, y'all. We tend to think because somebody is an attorney, a cop, policy enforcer, a sheriff, as my moes will say, a sheriff, a mayor, that they know all of this shit that we have unveiled. You know what I'm saying? You think, yeah, it is, bruh. I don't care how many oaths and how many different Masonic organizations that some of these attorneys and judges and policy enforcers that y'all call the policia, who the policia who used to plant the cocaine. You know what I'm talking about? What I mean used to. They still do shit like that. They plant the cocaine in your regal and shit. You know? That's what they be doing. Anyway, y'all. Again, some of us, I'm going to give you an example. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? But you can't tell me that what I've experienced, you know what I'm saying? You can't tell me, you know what I'm saying, what my experience is in the lens that I view, you know what I mean, some of these entertainers through is not going to be the same as, you know, many people. So what? If I'm utilizing, you know, they don't even necessarily have to be facts. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know these people personally. You don't know if the Slavic woman and Kanye got together some years ago and devised some type of plan. You know what I'm saying? In they little spooky way to conjure up what's been conjured up. We don't fucking know. I'm just gonna tell you what I do know, since that's what we do. We don't do the believe. I don't care what the fuck you believe. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know, then, you know what I mean? Make it plain, make it clear. Stop running around talking about certain women is men and certain men is really women and this person is a clone. And do you think that, we'll just say, y'all call them elite. Do you think the invaders and the terrorists would actually spend the type of paper that it would take to do all this cloning and placing this person here? And they ain't got to do that shit to y'all. Y'all are so easy to fucking manipulate. They ain't got to do none of that. Right now, what's happening is they're taking advantage of the disruption that is going on within various movements. For example, BLM. The BLM that you all hate and keep mentioning, what's his name? George Soros, I don't give a fuck what his name is. Him putting millions, excuse me, you know what I'm saying, in funding BLM. That's the, you know what I'm saying? That's like, let me see. I don't even have a good example, y'all. I'm just going to say what it is. BLM started off as a fucking movement within, I don't even want to say just major cities, but, you know, because these people who be out here attempting to kidnap us based on the fact that, you know, you didn't use a blinker or you don't have on a safety belt and all of this, they attempt to extort you, which is, you know what the extortion is, right? I don't have to pull it up, right? They attempt to rob you. Let's just say that. What they really want to do is be able to shackle you and kidnap you and hold you for ransom, right? And when you resist, la resistance, when you resist, you can end up dying, being murdered. For what? And I don't want to get off into that. Let's focus on what we're here to focus on, which that has everything to do with why I feel the need to even speak on this clown show shit, right? And let me get back to my moles. My moles heard Kanye refer to black as a label, right? And you want to try to stay, excuse me, he got some knowledge of self. Not to say that he doesn't have any. That's not what I'm saying. I understand the stock that he comes from, right? I over and understand peace to the gods, you know what I'm talking about, and the empresses in Chicago. I understand. I over and understand, excuse me, right? The type of influence, you know what I'm saying? And the foundational movements that exist in Chicago, right? To the degree that we know that Chicago, which they say some of our ancestors referred to it as the smelly onion, that it was established and incorporated by a melanated man, right? We know this. That's what I'm saying. Please don't do the assumptions. Just listen at me. Listen at me, right? When he made the statement about labeling us black, right? I could have ran with him with that, right? If it, again, spoiler alert, if you didn't see the entire interview that Kanye did with Tucker Carlson, what's his name? Fun fact, the first DVD that I did on my own, which doesn't even include me doing a lecture on it, it has Kanye on it saying that George Bush doesn't like black people. You know what I'm saying? He's giving them permission to come down and shoot us. And on that same DVD that I made, peace be upon her, Diane Fritz Cole, who was known as Mama D from Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? Y'all from the parish. Anyway, on that same DVD, Kanye is on there. And prior to Kanye's part on my DVD, Mama D French Cole again is on there in 2005, by the way, being interviewed by who? Tucker Carlson or whatever the fuck his name is, concerning Hurricane Katrina, right? Same DVD. So now, how long ago was 2005? However long ago it was, imagine how I feel sitting here watching Kanye be interviewed by the same I can't say that, y'all, because Facebook on my ass. Facebook on my ass just for the picture that I use for this video. You know, so I gotta kind of watch it a little bit till Saturday. Saturday we gonna cut loose, right? Again, on that DVD also is the parts of Black Knight where they're calling Martin Lawrence a Moor. But again, all of this shit go together, y'all. Just pay attention. Right after he makes that statement, you know what I'm saying? He gets into his emotions and he talks about again how they try to not glorify, but how they try to, you know, put stigmas and stereotypes on us and say that this is what black people is, right? And then his response to this is to wear a White Lives Matter shirt. Now, when we talk about black and we talk about white, those of us that are in the know, we know that these are statuses, right? And I told y'all yesterday, and I stand on my word until somebody prove me wrong. Everybody who is within the territorial boundaries of what is known as the United States of America Corporation, Inc., can claim the status of white, except for so-called black people, right? And I'm talking about the indigenous people from over here. I'm not talking about somebody who you would erroneously call black that's from Nigeria or the Dominican Republic or over here and over there. That is what they are. You call them black based off of phenotype. You do that. They don't make it a point to be like, I'm black. Who does that? Only we ridicule ourselves and others for a fucking the least at the bottom, the burnt, the crusty charcoal shit at the bottom of the toast that you don't want to eat. Bottom of the barrel, right?
Unless you're trying to get rid of a hangover.
Then his brothers and sisters on here saying that Kanye is black power. The fuck are you talking about? What do you mean? You talking about this clown? The married a Slavic prostitute? That's what you talking about?
Kim Kardashian?
The billionaire who all of his billions is going to go right back to the fucking invaders. I guarantee you every penny of it is going to go back to them. Then, this is the killer, y'all. He says black is a label and such and such and such. Then he mentions the fact, he says, he could have just said black was a label, this, and that, and mentioned the shirt, and I wore the shirt for this, and that. But right after that, you know what he says? He says, I have my black children and my white wife this, and my black children this, and my white wife this. This is what your boy Kanye said. So don't try to subdue me with the fact that he called black a label. That don't mean shit. Did he start talking about Section 242 of Title 18? Did he start talking about deprivation of rights under the color of law? Fuck no. He's trying to be a presidente. All is in a fucking fantasy. I don't get it. I don't get it. And this is not about a Democratic or a Republican party for me. Because Democrats and Republicans is cousins and brothers and sisters. All down for the same goddamn diabolical corporation. Cartel. The same way when your ass walk in the court, right? Everybody in that piece that's working, that's in there working, is an officer of the court, except for you. Conflict of interest, right? Major. So this is a conflict of interest because neither this guy is so far removed from being one of us. I don't get what I do get. Let me get to it right quick. And I'm about to be out of here, y'all. We're going to have to come back with this on Saturday. This is my point, though. Let's go back to the Oath Keepers and what's the other people name? The Proud Boys. What's the other one's name? It's somebody I know I'm leaving out. Yeah, the various militias who, again, it's already been revealed that, I don't want to say revealed, it's already been unveiled that a large percentage of their members are so-called law enforcement, right? And it shouldn't surprise you because, like I said, the fraternal order of the police, period, that particular department was specifically created to do what? To kidnap your ass. Same way they asking you for a driver's license and registration and insurance, and you can't be on the street, and you can't stop your water, stop your current, stop your currency. You know what I'm saying? And make some currency off of you, and not compensate you.
You are right? The currency.
Nothing has changed. And again, he wants to be the president. Ain't y'all the same people who keep telling me that to support a system that was created to fucking rob you and enslave you is ass backwards, right? But he's trying to be the president. I don't get it, y'all. I'm trying to think of this guy's name. His name is something McGinnis. I said his name earlier. Let me go take a take a look. Matter of fact, I could look on my phone right quick. And while I'm taking a look, we gonna listen to some shit, right? Because again, I told y'all this morning, I say Kanye say he about to go up against the Yiddish, Ashkenazi, Khazar, Jew faking. You know, he said, what did he specifically used the word Jews. He said when he wake up, he about to go to sleep. And when he wake up, he gonna go off on the Jews. That's what he said. Exactly what he said. So I laughed. Like, I want to see this shit. You know what I'm saying? But again, I expressed the fact that I feel as though that's a ploy to get the so-called black audience that he lost to come back into his corner, right? That's how I see that. Now, I could be fucking wrong. I'm just telling y'all, that's how I see that situation. He pissed you off by saying white lives matter. You know what I'm saying? And he gonna get y'all back now when he do the Nick Cannon. Who else did that shit and they made him sit down? Who else other than Nick Cannon did that, babe? Talked about the Jews and had to apologize and shit. The Yiddish, they speak Yiddish. They don't speak Hebrew. There's no J in Hebrew. They're the same people that tell you that, but they hopping on the bandwagon. Again, right after he made the statement about labeling, they labeled us black and all of this. He said his white wife or white ex-wife and his black children, my black children, such and such. Don't fall for the bullshit, y'all. Just like he's like, y'all heard the song Controversy by Prince. It's like Kanye is like Prince on steroids right now. I wouldn't be surprised if he came out with some panties on. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I don't get it. But let me do this. And while I do this, we gonna listen at this if we can.
He is one smart guy.
Is Kanye trying to be a force for good? Absolutely.
Yeah, he is.
Very special intellectual renaissance. When you consider like people like Tucker or Kanye's genius.
I'm gonna make an analogy. Coach Kente and Roots. They got him out on the tree and they're whipping him. What's your name? And they want him to say left wing liberal.
Kanye West refuses to live in that box.
You can't help but like him because he is not apologetic.
If I reach Alex Jones' territory,
Hey y'all, this bill from last month. We about to be live in 1
When
minute. Hold
Kanye
tight.
asked, he said, have I reached Alex Jones' territory yet? You know, he's alluding to, you know, conspiracy theory, right? And the fact that Kanye would even say, has he reached? Do y'all know this is the whole thing? This is what I'm telling y'all. Before it was a YouTube, right? Alex Jones was one of the people making particular documentaries. He made the Obama deception or some shit like that. Y'all don't understand who funds those type of, can't call him an activist. Yeah, he's a white nationalist activist. Yeah, he's a conspiracy theorist, but what I'm saying is the same way we'll mix in, oh, Kanye said black is a label. And try to make him some fucking great savior as if you didn't have master teachers telling your ass this shit already. He chose his side. And you gonna leave the side that you on to go support this nigga who don't give two shits about you. Or so-called black people. If he cared, he wouldn't have mixed his seed with a Slavic.
Ooh, I want to hit
so,
pause.
like I said,
Ooh,
it's time for the invaders to vacate. And they can take Clarence, Ketanji, OJ, and Kanye with their ass. Period. I hate even using that word, period. Y'all have made a mockery of everything. Again, I got to hear that again. Like I said, he just said, have I reached off into Alex Jones territory yet? Now, let me explain to you. It's a reason why I am saying that. And I got so much shit loaded up, y'all. It's fucking ridiculous. And I'm only using what key people, fuck key people. I'm using the people who created these particular movements known as Oath Takers and Proud Boys. I'm not going to even mention QAnon. I ain't going to even throw them in the goddamn mix, right? Right, but if we talking about Alex Jones and Kanye West, I'm telling y'all, the same way a lot of y'all have been misled to believe Michelle Obama got a ding-a-ling, like this woman don't got pictures and family members. And again, I told y'all she's a fucking Gullah Geechee, right? That don't mean shit to y'all though, because she married an African American. You know what I'm saying? Like, who just happens to be the cousin of George Bush and William Clinton, William Jefferson Clinton, and not talking about these are facts. All that satire shit that y'all blend in because oath keepers and Proud Boys say that Michelle Obama is a man, just like you screwed up cognitive dissonance having brothers and sisters, because you're still my brothers and sisters. You're still my brothers and sisters. Whether you love what I'm saying or you hate it, that's how shit go with truth, right? So again, let's listen to Mr. Kanye again. Ask Carson Tucker, how you say his name? I messed up another word today real bad too. Okay, let's take it back a little bit. I think I went back too far. Let's see. Time will tell.
Kanye West refuses to live in that box.
You can't help but like him because he is not apologetic.
Have I reached Alex Jones territory yet? No, I think I'm telling the truth.
So Kanye telling the truth, you know what I'm saying? Because he said white life matter and what is this? Foxtrot? Or we talking about, you know what I'm saying? He just a smiling. Nah, I didn't find the other guy name. His name is something McGinnis, the guy who started the Proud Boys, right? And not to mention the way that he came up with the name Proud Boys was he was being a racist fuck and making fun of I don't even want to say Puerto Rican. Taino. What y'all want me to say? Taino? You know what I'm saying? Y'all want me to say Arawak? Y'all want me to say Baricua? What time you said Tiny Moors? They had that. Well, we was talking about Fat Joe. It'd be a whole other conversation. But let's go again. Do I need to play it again? You just heard Jermaine say, "Am I going into Alex Jones territory?" Now, don't forget, Alex Jones got the shit sued out of him, right? Alex Jones put shit in his mom and his daddy name. Facts. Your boy Alex Jones went and put shit in his mama and daddy name. That's what he did. But that's something that they would say that's black. That's what black people do. Try to get away from the law and what's that word I hate that they always use? Entitlement. If you don't get the fuck out of here, you talking about the people that never got compensated? You talking about the people who land that you stole? And you can't steal land because you can't own land. What is this piece of shit name? Again, y'all, this is y'all following their narratives. Period. This is where this shit comes from, and I've been trying to tell y'all this, and I done lost so many so-called brothers and sisters who claim to have knowledge of self, because I'm telling y'all this shit is fake, and this is satire, and this is this. You know what I'm saying? It is not on everything, like I say. Just like your boy Dwight York, mix some fucking truth with some lies, and let's get it cracking. That's what it is. Don't be mad at me, be mad at the motherfuckers who doing this shit. That's what you be mad at. So let me go back. What is this fucking name? You know what? I could have just looked right here. That's what I could have did already, y'all. Let me see. Go down here. Man, I don't see this guy, man. Come on, y'all. Okay. This is pissing me off now. Let me see.
Violence was
Turn it down some. Some of y'all follow me and you know what I'm saying? Not follow me in a way of following me, but y'all know about this guy. Y'all know about this satire, fake ass information. Especially if you like me and used to watch, again, you used to watch the conscious VHS tapes. You're aware of a, what is it, Free World Alliance? See, you heard that the Bushes sold heroin, but do you know who put the information out there? That's the difference. I got the DVD from the fucking 90s. I mean, the VHS tape from the fucking 90s. Poppy Bush. We are white people called Bush Poppy Bush before you niggas even knew that they was pushing the poppy. You had no idea. You have to be careful with this information, y'all. I'm telling you, these people not on your team. Period. What is this guy name? Can I go to the comments? Let me see. Is this something? No, I can't even. I know I can't look at YouTube. Okay, his name is Gavin McGinnis, right? This is the guy who started, he's the founder of the Proud Boys, right? The type of rhetoric and racist shit that he fucking spews is the fucking, this same way the grassroots.
All right. Like I said, that was from last month. That was even before Ye did the interview. I think on Drink Champs. You know, just a little backtrack because, like I say, for sure we got amnesia. You know what I'm saying? Like I would expect nothing less than I'm gonna address you, brother Terrence. I see a comment. You know what I'm saying, and hopefully you're not getting me mixed up with some other people with different agendas. You know what I'm saying? If you look at all of it, you can even, I put it to you like this: more than 90% of the material that you'll find on this particular channel is based on us as a people, as a nation of people, as the most ancient people on the mother plane, period. Us not doing business with these invaders, okay? That's what we predominantly build upon, right? So again, we're speaking about Ye currently and the symbol you see on the screen, right? Now, if you know anything about me and you know what I'm saying, what we do over here, I have a necklace similar to what that symbol is. And this is what Kanye posted, what Ye posted on Twitter that made Elon Musk terminate him again from that. So please don't, you know what I mean? I see, you said emasculating the male through the woman's political power for LG, MOP, civil rights, reparations agenda. That's kind of a vague comment. I understand what you're saying because everything you mentioned, we don't, participate in, which is emasculating and LMNOPT and civil rights. You know what I'm saying? We are about human rights and indigenous rights. You know what I'm talking about over here. And I'm down for reparations, restitution, compensation. You know what I'm talking about? Because again, y'all forgot these people came here to do business. You know what I'm saying? They have a CEO, which is a president, right? So they're here doing business. And they've done business for a couple of centuries to the tune of becoming the most wealthiest criminal cartel enterprise, corporation or company or colony, with the subsidiaries being the state of this, the state of Nebraska, the state of Washington, the state of New York. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all attach these corporations, you know what I mean, and their policies to the actual land. When they, you know what I mean, it's obvious that if anybody is not native or indigenous or aboriginal or autochthonous to the land, that is not them. being that, they are a recessive gene. You see what's on the screen, right? Where, you know what I mean? Something that I've been saying for almost 2 decades now. So, I'm talking about those who carry recessive genes. They are the recessive gene again. So let me get back to what I was on. Let's go back to the picture again. This is what got Ye kicked off of it's Twitter, right? Yeah, Twitter. That's the one Elon Musk on. So again, like I said, you know, if you knew anything about what we do over here, I don't feel no way about that. Matter of fact, here go my original piece right here. Let me show it to you. Right? Do we owe you know what I'm talking about? Do we owe us some bread or something? Here it go right here. Here go my, can you see it? See that? You could say it's the Eastern Star, Venus, the mother. You could say love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, the 5 points. You could say, and you know what I'm talking about? The idea that you would eliminate or terminate Yay based off of something that y'all use, a symbol that's a symbol of prosperity or of good luck and things like this and that you could find anciently all over the world. They call it a swastika. That's what they called it. You understand? It is not evil. It is not a racist symbol, period. So again, this goes to show how backwards and upside down, you know what I'm talking about, shit really is, right? But again, to the credit of their mass media machines, even before a CNN and a Fox News, they had various press releases, papers, newspapers, you know what I'm saying? You say a press release now, you thinking about Kobe, peace be upon him, and his wife sitting next to him and him crying and apologizing for doing something. You know what I'm talking about? Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But anywho, again, this is not a racist symbol. It just goes to show how they steal our shit and flip it and reverse it. Now everybody is, panties is in a bunch because again, let me back this up a little bit. I don't know if we not playing a video, so hopefully they don't try to. I want to see him with this damn stocking cap on his head. I still didn't go to it. Where we at? Back it up. I just saw it. There you go. Funny, I was just talking about Alex Jones or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And you see your boy Ye with the stocking cap on his head, on Alex Jones' show. You know what I'm saying? And is that other guy, is he the racist guy that Ye went to have a meeting with him and Trump and all? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, y'all. It's just, again, now let me say this. I got to get these people off the screen now. Let's go back to that symbol, which is a dope symbol. You know what I'm saying? If it was 5 points, I could see myself rocking a medallion. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what's coming in the future. I'm going to retire the Ankh, it just make it make sense. Make it make sense. Again, in the flashback video that I just played, you heard me mention, you know what I'm saying, based off of some of the things that if he actually did, which he's done it now, you know what I'm saying, but if he actually made those moves, like him saying he was going to go DEFCON on Jews when he woke up, that video that y'all just watched of me, you know what I'm saying, that was before that. Yeah, that was definitely before, you know what I'm saying, he actually started really, really, getting cocky and talking shit or whatnot. But again, to my Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters, my question to you is this: which one of you all agree? Thank you, Nick Fuentes. How you say his name? Y'all know I mess somebody's names up all the time. Well, I mess names and words up all the time. We're gonna get to that. Hold on. How many of my Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters are, you know what I'm saying, not cool with, y'all know goddamn well y'all don't do the mixing of the seed, right? Talk to me. Y'all don't do the mixing of the seed, right? Y'all don't rock the ox. Hmm? Talk to me. Okay, so let's get to the. He say you were okay. Let me put it on screen swap. You were mentioning Michelle Obama was piggybacking from that comment. Yeah, I mentioned the Michelle Obama thing. Every so often, I'll talk about that situation because again, what I was referencing was the fact that we will pick up satire information that's put out like by some of these racist groups. You know what I'm talking about? And mix it in with our own information, right? Like again, the Michelle Obama is a man. That is false. That is 100% false. And it 100% came from your enemies. So for us to continuously regurgitate a fucking lie, you understand that was concocted by your own fucking enemy, which we do too much of. You know what I'm saying? Y'all pick shit up off Facebook or wherever the fuck you getting it from, and you don't know the source. See, I know the source. Again, I used to sell the DVDs and shit, the conscious DVDs back in the day. You know what I'm talking about? And some of their materials would, you know, be mixed in a Jordan Maxwell and all of these other. And I'm not saying everything. Let me back up. Alex Jones is some information that he put out here that is absolutely facts. You understand? But a lot of that shit, will a portion of it, be bullshit. You understand? But the purpose, see, y'all got to go back. Y'all got to go back to the 80s, even the 70s. Like the little groups that we have formed, they been not to say we didn't have grassroots lectures and grassroots scholars and lecturers or whatnot. You know what I mean? That's very well my foundation. You understand? The same books that if you look up on my mantle, you know what I mean, is the same books that most brothers and sisters already have who are into knowledge of self. You understand? And when you believe one lie that QAnon or whoever the fuck else tells, you know what I'm saying? You are likely to buy into all of that shit. And I've seen it happen. I'm one of the only people, I have to be honest, right? I know some elders who, and dang, the two who come to mind right now, they both have passed over. And one of them, we all know. You understand? In the lecture, or in the little live video we was just listening to, I mentioned something about black as a status being at the bottom. You know what I'm talking about? And I was like at the bottom, like the charcoal at the bottom of the barbecue pit or something like that. I said it made me think of, peace be upon him, Baba Dick Gregory mentioning see, I'm I got a good memory, a very, very good memory, because this was very well when I'm in elementary. Because I remember he had the Bohemian drink or something like that. This was before I had any idea of who, peace be upon him, Dr. Sabi was, right? And Dr. Dick Gregory was talking about how to get rid of a hangover, right? And he mentioned eating burnt toast. He said that the burnt stuff, the charcoal burnt stuff from the toast, does something, whatever kind of chemical or whatnot, or element it is, you know what I'm saying, helps to get rid of a hangover. And he also mentioned milk, right? This was, I'm telling you, this was like on some Phil Donahue, Sally Jesse Raphael type shit. You know what I'm talking about? Like I got a good memory, right? So some of our elders, unfortunately, who, you know, were around during this digital age where we're getting this information at our fingertips or whatnot, you know. And again, it was just like the elders told us, propaganda. Thank you, brother. I was putting y'all comments up. Y'all have to excuse me. I'm not, you know, all computer savvy like that, or, you know what I'm talking about. But they're getting this information, you know, digitally. And sometimes, you know, it's hard to differentiate what's satire and what is actual factual stuff sometimes, because we know that the mass media, or I always call it mass media. Mass media, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say y'all know what I'm talking about, like Fox and ABC, CBS, and you know what I'm talking about? Like we know that that's a program, because I can go from ABC to NBC. I'm talking news, and it's the same shit. They're talking about the same thing, so we know it's a program, right? So anything outside of that, they label alternative. This is alternative news, and you know what I'm saying? Okay, alternative is not a bad word, but it doesn't reference, to facts. You understand? So it, again, we have to, or you have to, when you research and stuff and you online and or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? You're not actually at the law library and things like this and that. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you getting this from a reputable source, right? When we look at when we look at Proud Boys and Oath Takers or whatever their names is, again, I just said that most of those individuals are law enforcement, neo-Nazi, K-head, skinhead motherfuckers. So logically, I wouldn't take the shit that they're saying and come into a conversation or on a social site where it's brothers and sisters who are endowed with knowledge of self and say some of the crazy shit that y'all say. And some of the people who I'm speaking of, like, I absolutely love. And we will argue about this shit because go back to the Michelle Obama shit, right? We can argue. I'm not gonna argue with it about it with none of y'all. You know what I'm saying? The evidence speaks for itself. You have pictures of this woman from when she was a baby and so on and so forth all the way up. You know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna do with that? What are you gonna do with that? She has a birth certificate, a record of live birth. She has two parents. She has a brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then again, as I always, well, I don't always mention this, but since I just heard myself say it, the woman is a Gullah Geechee, regardless to the man that she chose. Just like regardless to the woman that Kanye chose, y'all gonna rep with him regardless. But the sister, y'all say fuck her. You know what I mean? But that's your choice. That's your choice. I'm not on neither one of their team. I'm definitely not on Kanye team because of my own experiences and how I grew up and what I saw. You know what I mean? I'm born and predominantly raised, in what y'all call Detroit or the D or Detroit, what I call it, what it is. That's how you say it in French, Detroit, right? This is very well, you know what I'm saying, Louisiana, if you want to say. If we want to look on some older maps and you see the territory that was actually etched out versus the lie that they told, you know what I'm talking about? It got to be a lie if that shit happened back when they say it happened. In 1980 and 1979, excuse me, Ronald Reagan is still talking about the Louisiana Purchase was lawful and it actually happened. And you know what I'm talking about? Like, why in 1979 when Ronald Reagan is he still the governor of California? Because I know in 1980 that's when he became the president of this corporation of the largest wealthiest criminal enterprise known to man, USA Inc. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do business with them, and I don't want to do business with none of their subsidiaries who signed up for that shit, who got a charter to fucking prove it, right? Whether it's the state of this or the state of that. That's what we discuss over here. You know what I mean? That's what we own over here. We don't want to do business with these people. You know what I'm saying? They ain't cut a check in I don't know how long, and the paper is just that. It's just paper with a bunch of fucking numbers on it that accredits something. You know what I mean? It gives it a debit. Actually, don't give it a credit because it's not a credit. It's a debtor note. It's a promissory note. It's fiat. It's abracadabra. You know what I'm talking about? So I don't know. Let's look at the comments. What you say about Megan Thee Stallion? Megan Thee Stallion being slandered. I mean, again, that's somebody else who I came in her defense, about them calling her a man. Now, regardless as to, what type of artist she is, you don't enjoy her entertainment, fine. You enjoy Ye entertainment more. I think I enjoy Kanye's entertainment more. He's on Alex Jones' show with the stocking cap on his head. Nah, that was I played a bill that we did a month ago when I said I wouldn't be surprised if he came out with panties or pantyhose on or something. I said because he's trying to be overly controversial, past the mark of peace be upon him, Prince Rogers. You know, Prince Rogers Nelson, and what wasn't that his name? Am I messing it up, y'all? Help me out. So I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Some things that I do know is what I, you know what I'm saying? The things that I express again is from my personal experience. I mentioned going from living in Detroit to going to live in Port Charlotte, Florida. You know what I'm talking about? And it was a major culture shock for me because I've never seen, let me see, no. Prior to me moving to Florida, I never seen a melanated man with a so-called white woman. I'm from the D. This the black is not gonna get no more melanated here. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the 80s and 90s than Detroit. I'm here to tell you this, right? I've been many places, but again, you don't see that here. You know what I'm saying? You got to go downtown during an event, you know, some type of festival or concert or something special when you go to the Fox or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You'll see a few sprinkles of pale people. But other than that, you know, this is a melanated place. You know what I'm saying? It's changing now with that gentrification and us abandoning the land as we do and as we've done, as our ancestors did. You know what I'm saying? We abandoned the South to come to the North. We done abandoned the North and went to the South. These are cycles that, you know what I'm saying, our ancestors went through. Unfortunately, right now, currently at this time, we don't study the houses. You know what I'm saying? The constellations. We don't travel by the stars no more. We don't do the Arabs. How you say that shit? Where the word Arab come from? Don't come from no camel jockey, excuse me. All the platforms that we're broadcasting on, you know, certain language, this is how we speak. You know, your people, English is, you know what I mean, is not, it is one of our tongues based on the fact that, goddamn it, my ancestors made all the letters, all the numbers, there would be no nothing. Well, our ancestors, you know what I'm talking about? But again, this is not an ancient tongue that we speak. So as a people, some things that we make adjustment to, or words that we, you know what I'm saying, may hold in the light for a minute. I don't even want to say that words of endearment, but words that we put up in the light for a minute to some may be derogatory. You know what I'm saying? Like if I say camel jockey or sand N word, which is something you never heard a melanated person say, it's usually other people who refer to, you know what I'm saying, any people with some melanin and, you know what I'm saying, such a derogatory fashion. That would be them, not us. You understand? So certain terms we take in, like dope, you know, and within the world of hip hop, you know, dope to us mean like fresh. You know what I'm saying? It's hot. What they say lit is lit. You know. So again, we are, nobody supersedes us. I ain't gonna say nobody. No other people supersedes us when it comes to creativity. You understand? And everything that's manifested is manifested throughout creativity because it had to be a thought, right? Period. A thought. Oh, we got people. Nah, not the hot girls. You ain't gonna find no hot girls. We not doing no, you know what I'm saying? Because I gotta delete these comments for sure. You know what I'm saying? Because people be out here trafficking our women and children. You understand? And that's the other thing that I really talk about a lot on this channel, which encourages some of you to um try to put me in a feminist box. You know what I'm talking about? And you know, feminism or feminists, excuse me, are the worst thing that you can be within the so-called conscious community. Because you know the women is the reason that they messed up the black household and shit. Because you know they took the welfare and put the man out the house, and that's the most sorriest shit a man or a fucking man or a melanated woman can say out their mouth. You understand? And I understand by me making that statement, I'm making many enemies and I give zero fucks. You understand? Because it is no way that a company or a corporation or a state or a city is going to keep me away from my children. Period. And as a man, None of that shit should keep any man from being with his wife and his children and providing for them and protecting them. Again, so when you hear me speak about the human trafficking or the trafficking of the melanated women and children, and your babies is the most your women and your babies is the most unprotected people on this fucking earth, you understand I'm saying that for a reason. The same way y'all would feel as though Kevin, peace be upon him, what's the name, Kevin Samuels was saying particular things in order to, yes, push the buttons to make you see, you know what I'm saying, what you're saying isn't beneficial to us as a whole, melanated women or melanated men, because I seen him go off on melanated women and melanated men. He just wasn't harsh on the sisters, and I didn't see a lot of what he said. You understand? Like, my problem was with some of my conscious brothers. You understand? Like, they were utilizing what some of the things that Kevin Samuels was saying in order to completely ridicule sisters. Like, we wasn't shit. You understand? But again, when we go visit the brothers and the sisters who are locked up in POW, excuse me, kidnapped in these prisons for violating policies and codes, not for committing crimes. You understand? Because in none of these situations are there actually injured victims. There's no fucking victim. The victim is the state of Michigan. How the fuck the state of Michigan gonna be the victim? The state of Michigan exists on paper. It is a corporation doing business, and it has a charter stating what year it was established in. It is a fucking business, and it has been bleeding our people for since 18 whatever, since the year and prior to that, because it was wars fought in order for them to put their flag in the fucking ground. You understand? Don't think that our ancestors wasn't fucking fighting. We wouldn't have the fire in us that we have in us had they not been, right? That's what we be discussing over here. How we gonna do this, right? How's we really doing this? Creature of fiction. What about that facts is facts that I shared earlier this week? I seen other people go and later on post a book. I post a portion of the video. Was the guy the author who was doing the lecture, the Eurasian guy? You know what I'm saying? I'm not even sure. It don't matter because he was dropping that knowledge. You know what I mean? Again, I'm not biased when it comes to the truth. You know what I'm saying? The truth can come from very well come from your enemy. You understand? But is your enemy likely to tell you the fucking truth? Right? Let's talk about the art of war. What position would you have to have your enemy in order for him to tell you the truth? He would have to be real comfortable and relaxed and very convinced that he can defeat you. Right? And this shit right here I'm talking about is not even a factor in our situation because they don't even think about us like that. Right? They're not bothered by Kanye in this symbol at all. Not even Elon Musk. Who I tell y'all Elon Musk was. In fact, check me on it and get back with me because it is what it is, right? Elon Musk is a South African. Again, Elon Musk is a South African. Not only is he a South African, but this cat escaped the South African military draft. Right? What y'all call that? Expound what it, you know what I mean? So he had a warrant. He had warrants out for his arrest because he refused to participate in the South African draft. Military draft, right? So he escaped South Africa and moves to Canada. And from Canada, he comes to you know what I'm saying, another portion of North America because Canada is a part of North America, right? And he attends the best of the universities. I think Stanford and Yale or some shit like that, right? So he graduates and he does like a lot of these tech people and engineers or whatnot do who come from wealthy people, from thieves, right? From straight up thieves. Because anybody who, to me, is worth billions. Like, come on now. You got billions and there's people living in fucking famine and homeless and, you know what I'm saying, worried about all type of shit that they can't take care of because they got to take care of all this other shit, and there's not enough being shared with them. When again, this earth provides enough for everybody. Nobody is supposed to be hungry or homeless, right? All of these materials that they use in order to create any fucking thing came from the earth, which provides for all, belongs to nobody. You are the caretaker of the land, of the estate. Ownership of land is no such thing. You can't show it to me in ancient times, so it don't exist. How I do that? Yeah, that shit don't exist. Again, there's nothing evil about this symbol. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, just go to show your boy really don't got that knowledge like that. Because if he did, he would be breaking down the symbol, you know what I'm saying, or what they calling the swastika, instead of trying to promote Hitler. Like, I go back with this information. I probably can find some DVDs where it was so-called conscious people out here talking about Hitler was black and all of this banana. Where you think this fruitcake ass information came from? Somebody created it and put the shit online and you ate it. The elders told us when it comes to this information, because understanding that, yes, we had Ivan Van Sertima, Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, we had Shank Dr. Diak, we had Dr. Ben, we had Dr. Clark, we had J.A. Rogers, and so on and so forth. But there were Gerald Massey, there were some of these other Eurasian people who had some real information that was actual fucking facts. So what the elders told us to do was eat the fish and spit out the bones. In other words, you know what I'm saying, there's going to be certain things within these texts that is bullshit. You understand? They're going to be put there for, you know what I'm saying, somebody to be prosperous, but not your ass. You know what I'm talking about? Now, if I'm donating to somebody's cause, to a cause outside of my cause, you know, this the art of war. It would be for a reason. But for me to blatantly, you know what I mean, try to put on blast some shit that's contrary, you know what I mean, what's the point? What's the point? That's what I don't understand. Some of this shit that y'all be doing, I really don't. But I'm not, here this, what is it? I'm not here today to, you know what I mean, really try to drag nobody. So let's get rid of this. And I don't even think that, let's see. Yeah, it's gonna do all that. Let's take this and do like that. While I do like this, boom. Creature from Jekyll Island. He said a creature of fiction. Yes, they be pumping that bullshit. And again, it's because, they don't know the source of this some of the information that they be spreading. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I was talking about. I mentioned peace be upon him, Dick Gregory. It was times when certain information that was coming out, he got that shit off the internet somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And you can just about, point as to where it came from. And it didn't just happen that way. Peace be upon him. My, my teacher, Bobby Ill, I hate that I even, exposed him to, it was actually, it was filmed like a documentary, but it wasn't a documentary. You know what I'm saying? It was some satire shit that was put together by 40 Acres and a Mule. I think it was called Confederate States of America, some shit like that. And what they did is they reversed everything. Instead of so-called the Union or Ulysses Grant winning the Civil War, they said that, what's the General Lee, what the motherfucking name? I don't know all these fucking old ass dead people that y'all put on white slave on them motherfuckers' name. I ain't supposed to know their names, but y'all know who I'm talking about. Robert E. Lee, whatever fuck his name is, you know what I'm saying? That they lost, and that Abraham Lincoln didn't get assassinated. Actually, Harriet Tubman um took Abraham Lincoln to Canada on a train or some crazy ass shit. It was a bunch of crazy. It was a crazy movie. You know what I'm talking about? But it was put in a documentary form. So if you was really into all of this crazy ass information and you seen it, you might kind of thought the shit was the real deal, right? And I'm gonna tell you why. It got a lot of people who actually are very knowledgeable, right? You know what I'm saying? When they first started watching the movie, they actually had to be like, "Wait a minute, is this shit true? What is this shit?" You know what I'm saying? And what the main reason was because it was set up like a documentary, and then at the same time, the documentary had commercials. And in the commercials, it would be products that were sold back in the day with racist type of shit on it, nigger soap and all kind of crazy shit, right? But these were actual products, right? So if you get somebody who's the age of a Dick Gregory and the age of, peace be upon him, my teacher, both of them, peace be upon both of them, Bobby Ill, they would be kind of reeled into thinking this is an actual documentary with actual information, because they're seeing these products that were around when they were a child or when their parents was children. You know what I'm saying? And like, it was certain things out of the film that some of the elders was quoting as if it was fact, and it actually wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And when you get into this information, if you honest enough, like I'm honest enough to admit to the fact that there's been things that I was led to believe was actual factual, and I found out it was not, right? I did my due diligence, but being that the source that gave the shit to me, it was, you know what I'm saying, it was given to me in a sincere way, and from a good sincere person and a knowledgeable person, them not knowing. So you got to understand, and this is where the racist satire shit come in too, right? Like the Poppy Bush, and what was that, the rise of the Clintons, and there's so many DVDs and VHS tapes I used to sell back in the day. Like I said, their information, that's how their information originally spilled into our information. And if anybody knows anything prior to that, like I know there were literature and there was books. Like the same way today y'all calling Megan Thee Stallion a man, they used to say Grace Jones was a man. They used to say that Evelyn Champagne King was a man. You know what I'm saying? Who started these rumors, right? Just like the chicken and the watermelon. We eat chicken and watermelon. I ain't had a piece of chicken. I almost ate a piece of chicken tonight because they put a little bit of chicken on. Well, they put chicken on the whole fucking pizza. You know what I'm talking about? And other than that, chicken. I ain't had no chicken since August 1994. So who the fuck eats chicken and watermelon, right? But y'all will laugh about the shit, and like, yeah, who don't eat chicken and watermelon? Everybody like chicken, everybody like watermelon. It's not just melanated people. You understand? But again, I'm different. Fuck some chicken. You know what I'm saying? Their purpose is to eat the dirt off the earth and shit, just like pigs, if you ask me. All right? And if you ask me when I was 3 years old, and then you ask me, when I was 15, I'll tell you the same thing. The first time I ever seen a chicken in person, I was in Texas. Was it Baytown, Texas, or whatever, when they took me down there? Anyway, my peace be upon them, my godmother and them, they had a farm and all type of, well, I would call it a farm because I'm from the D. You know what I'm saying? Any place where it's chickens and it's horses and shit like that, to me, that's a farm, right? Anyway, I was eating a piece of bubble gum. I'll never forget this. This is how good my memory is, y'all. I was eating a piece of bubble gum, and I took the bubble gum and I dropped the paper, right? And the chicken ate the paper. You know what I'm saying? So from my memory all the way back then, I mean, I look at chickens like they supposed to eat the dirt off the earth or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, am I wrong? What's the chicken purpose other than y'all to kill it and eat it? I'm asking. I'm ignorant of that fact. I would like to know. So let's get past all that so we don't get the reverb. Because it'll be a lot of reverb if I don't. And matter of fact, I'm going to do this real sweet. So, and y'all know the Africans be trying to get me. They be trying to get my money. They be trying to still out here doing a word up to them. Get the bread. Because anybody dumb enough to go for some of that shit y'all be talking about, I'm trying to tell you. They be romance. They be romancing the troglodytes. That's what I heard they be doing. Hold up, where is that? There we go. What's up to the people on the West Coast? Brothers and sisters on the West Coast. Everybody else looking at BMF probably. Let me find a picture, y'all. I don't know how. Like I got a brother who the minister, you know what I'm saying? The minister, my bro from Detroit, loved Trump and he loved Kanye. You know what I'm saying? We've been on the conscious information forever in a day, literally. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't get it. I don't get it. This still like the picture. I'm looking for the picture with all the states. Then it's about to fall down. Damn. Oh, this will not function right for me, and I don't got no help right now. Amir sleep. Hold up. Please be on here. Because this is about to make the picture so clear. You know what? That's all right. I got it. I know where it's at. Because I just used it as the screen thingy. So it should be the first picture to come up. I told y'all I ain't computer literate. I ain't computer savvy. I mean, I'm computer literate a little bit. I'll be learning. Here it go right here. Boom. Don't come up big. There it go. All right, we about to break this down. Where you at? There it go. Bam. So boom. When you see this picture, matter of fact, let me get back on the screen because if I don't have the people will disappear. Y'all must think I look like my mama. Okay. See the picture, right? I say these people, when I keep saying these people, I ain't gonna say these people. I say the state of Georgia, the state of motherfucking Florida make me cuss. It's just, you know what I'm saying? If you want to use the word racist, that's the most racist place I ever been to in my entire existence, right? It's fucking Florida. And what really pissed me off about it is the fact that if there's no other land that we know is our estate and it belongs to us as far as being the inhabitants and the caretakers and the heirs, and you know what I mean, Florida is ours, and that's the place where they do. You know, back in the 80s that a highwayman in Florida would ask you to say your fucking ABCs backwards. And as a child, when I was there, I actually, up until, let me see, if you ask me in 2006 all the way down to 1988 to say my ABCs backward, I promise you on everything I love, I could do it like it was nothing, like I was saying 1, 2, 3. And it's not because I was harassed by the police in that way. It's just when I heard them say that, the people that's from there say that, which is a small population. Again, when I was in Florida, 85% of the people who live in Florida is not from Florida. You understand? So I'm talking about the 15% of the people who I was building with was telling me this. The the cops was, I already had a problem with the dogs. You understand? Like, by us staying in the suburbs, when we went out, me as a teenager going out with the older kids or whatever, we would go to Fort Myers. We would go to even Arcadia, a place called Arcadia, Sarasota, anywhere but, from where we was from, right? where they would, the little so-called black towns will be a little bit bigger. You see what I'm saying? And I mean, and I was hanging out with the good kids. They didn't smoke weed, they didn't drink, they didn't sell dope, they didn't do shit. You know what I'm saying? They was just me being from Detroit trying to take me around. Like, we wanted to go to the mall. We had to go to, you know what I mean, Fort Myers. We want to go to a Foot Locker, goddamn, you had to take your ass to Fort Myers, you know what I'm talking about? So police stopped us and took the dogs out, let the dogs walk around the car and smell the car. And it was just, I just, never experienced nothing like that before. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is fucking crazy to me. But again, now that I'm older, it was just so, it was so crazy to me that when they said that about doing the ABCs backward, I instantly started doing it and learned it, and that I could just do it. You know what I'm saying? I can't do it now. With a Z, Y, X, W, V, U, T. I used to be able to just do it, Q, all the way on to fucking A all the time and shit. We laugh, I thought, you know what I mean? But again, first time I was ever harassed by the popo was in Florida at the age of 13. Like, what do you want from me? My experience is different. Again, all the athletic, nice looking, melanated guys down there had white girls. All of them. 90% of them was with white girls. You know what I'm saying? So even though they had a girl, some of them would, you know what I'm saying, like flirt with me or whatever. And in my mind, I'm like, you just doing that because of my complexion or whatever. I ain't even trying to fuck with you. You see what I'm saying? And so on and so forth. So just a different experience. So to see any successful melanated man, you know what I'm saying, be with the pale woman, and the downfall is coming. Whether you say OJ or Kanye or MJ, it's coming. You understand? Like, it's coming. And if it don't, and they die and live happily ever after, it's gonna definitely be a situation like a Clarence Thomas in his Eurasian or pale face or white wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's so much of a fucking Oreo. Like, I don't like these Oreo niggas, y'all. I don't care. This has nothing to do with me bashing being into the not mailbag. What do y'all call that? The sex the sex bashing, how you say that shit? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Like, I'm not into that shit at all. But again, the Oreo shit, I don't like and I don't respect because of how I grew up. Like I said, major culture shock to be somewhere and see so many attractive men and young men not give a fuck about being with a melanated, young woman or woman. I couldn't fucking believe that shit. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. I mean, people say, you love who you love, and come on now. You know what I'm saying? Just think about it. All my brothers out here. Let's just say you were a young, talented, melanated, multi-millionaire. Not to say that you know what I'm saying, like multi-millionaire or a fucking billionaire. We just say a multi-millionaire. All these beautiful melanated women on this planet, you mean to tell me you can't find one? That's a lie. Like, the when I see the brothers talking about the hood rats and, you know what I'm saying, like dragging the sisters or whatever, like, that's no different than a woman getting hurt by one man or many men and coming to the conclusion in her fucking psychosis that men ain't shit. Like, I could never understand that train of thought. I know it happens. You know what I'm saying? But is it logical? Because that is ultimately, you have to check your own energy, number one, and then as far as what you're attracted, you know what I'm saying? And you know how they say women don't, women don't choose men. That's a fucking lie. I think about, you know what I'm saying, my history, and it's usually the guy who I'm eyeing. You know what I'm saying? Who is a guy that's gonna be compatible with me, right? versus every guy, you know what I'm saying? Almost every guy you see throughout the day trying to talk to you or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? Them seeing you, and what are they looking at? You know what I'm saying? What do they see? They just looking at what you look like, know nothing about you. Versus some of us sisters, you know what I'm saying, really, really, really looking at a guy, looking at his fingernails, look, you know what I'm talking about? Like if it's just a first time interaction or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't even want to get into all of that because I'm not looking at nobody. I'm not single, so I can't, you know what I'm saying? But when asked, you know what I'm saying, and looking at a lot of the assumptions and, you know, how again somebody is hurt by a man or a woman, and all of a sudden, well, all men ain't shit or all women ain't, like, that's stupid to me. So let's get to the picture so we can get up out of here right quick. Now, I talk about the corporate entities, and I'm talking about they policies and codes and statutes and acts and stuff that they have in order to keep their corporation wealthy and make sure that they get wealthier using the same tactics and shit, the same system that they've been using since your ancestors. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm talking about your ancestors, like your great great greats and your greats. You know what I'm talking about? And your grandparents, right? And your great grandparents and your great great grandparents. You know, this is the same shit. They call, and the word I couldn't think of a couple of weeks ago was, they call it lobbyists or lobby. That's a bullshit. Bullshit. Once upon a time, Bank of America was called something else. And before they had that name, they were called something else. You know what I mean? Now, the only thing that's the same is the heirs of it, right? The heirs, the bloodline that owns that corporation, that, you know what I mean? They're the same, and they own many other corporations. That's like you look at what is it? Is it Sprite? Well, Sprite is owned by who? Coca-Cola or some shit like that. If I look at certain candy bars or whatever, they're owned by Hershey's or Mars or something like that. And Mars owns something else, right? So basically, how they became these big capitalists, you know what I'm talking about? It's through the tune of the bloodlines, right? And these corporations, these corporate entities. So we was talking about voting. Matter of fact, I couldn't find this picture when I had the elder Mustafa on here, right? And we were talking about voting, and basically this is you're voting for Coca-Cola. You know what I'm talking about? Because Coca-Cola run fucking Georgia. You see Coca-Cola right there at Georgia. I think somebody was trying to make a point, right? That's who, you know what I mean? And their other subsidiaries and conglomerates. And I'm talking about these people was doing business. We have got to refrain from doing business with them. Now we know they have been accustomed to doing this business for so long that they got most of our people hypnotized, and their people, oh, they really, 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 really think that this shit that we are up under is fucking lawful, right? To the tune to where when we get harassed by the police, they don't understand it. Why don't they just do what the police tell them? Bitch, because my DNA and my genes is fucking triggering me. You know what I mean? Because of what these same overseers, officers, patrolmen did to my ancestors. These the same motherfuckers that had badges and shackles and guns, and they got the same badges and shackles and guns today. That's why we don't listen to them. First of all, they are an employee of Coca-Cola. I mean GM. I mean of the state of Michigan. That's who the fuck they is. They don't have any business interacting with me unless, number one, I have committed a crime and they witnessed me commit a crime, right? Number two, if I have injured somebody or some shit, that's a crime, right? Number two, let's go to because number two is actually what their job is they have to interact with me because they need to get me to safety. There's an emergency situation. That's why they have emergency lights, just like a motherfucking ambulance. Ambulance, however you say that English word, I don't give two fucks, right? But that's not what they do. They run around extorting and kidnapping and sexually assaulting people and holding them for ransom. Because that's what the fuck they've been doing since day one. That was their origin. Their origin was to run around kidnapping my fucking ancestors, right? And some wealthy slave owning motherfucker, some wealthy ass colonists gave them a badge and a job in order to do this shit. And they still doing it. That's where we at with this shit. And here today, we got so much amnesia, we don't remember that shit. And y'all got so much amnesia, you think that Hebrew Israelites is supposed to marry Slavic prostitute white women and pay them $200,000 a month in fucking child support. That's what you think. They not supposed to mix their seed. That's what that book say, right? That book say do not mix your seed outside of your nation, which is exactly what Ye West or Ye fucking did. So at that point, you know what I mean? What the he is he nothing he says or does would ever benefit us as a fucking people. Nothing. I don't care what he can come out tomorrow and be like, you know what? Melanated people, you know what I mean? This and melanated people that. You know what I'm talking about? He could be out here talking about this, the no seatbelt movement. We got the no seatbelt movement. I'm supporting Tamir, you know what I'm saying, with the no seatbelt movement, because they done extorted billions of dollars from melanated people based off of a safety belt law that is unlawful, a safety belt policy or code that is unlawful, the same way the rednecks did. They said, this is the no helmet movement because y'all done extorted our people for billions of dollars. You know what I'm talking about? For not wearing a helmet when you don't care about my safety. Because they damn sure don't care about our safety, right? They just want that $75. Click of the ticket in my ass, Charlemagne. You know what I'm talking about? So that's it. That's what we do over here. We on all the other stuff. I ain't really too much into it. In my picture, that's the one picture. If I didn't get to put up any picture, I wanted y'all to look at. This is what they have been doing since they got here, right? This shit is all about business. They're doing business. United States of America is a business. The state of New York is a business, right? And again, that's fine, but they do not have the right to force us into doing business with them, right? Again, I always say Burger King and Wendy's, that's a business, but Burger King and Wendy's don't force you to eat they fucking burgers. Burger King and Wendy's don't issue you citations. Burger King and Wendy's don't tell you, and I want to, Kanye, I don't know, you know what I'm talking about? Because I've been saying this shit for years based on the Different Strokes episode that I seen when I was a little child. You know what I'm saying? Burger King don't tell you you can't collect rainwater on Wednesday. You know what I'm talking about? They don't do that. They don't tell you in order for you to grow a garden in your yard that you have to get permission from the county of Dade. You know what I'm talking about? They don't do that. Or Mecklenburg County has to give you permission in order to grow a garden in your own goddamn yard, or you're gonna get a fine of $500 and or 10 years in jail. See, this the shit they've been doing us forever and ever. Y'all call it vagrancy laws and all of that other shit, but they still fucking doing it. You know what I'm saying? Again, if they can give me a fine of $500 or $600 for growing a garden in my own yard, and I will be fined $500 or $600 and or 5 years in jail. This is the shit they was doing to your ancestors, which kept us in perpetual fucking poverty, a large portion of us. Now, for the portion of melanated brothers and sisters who go back into their families or coat of arms and see that their families have always been wealthy or were once wealthy, and right now they're just upper class or lower middle class or whatever the fuck it is. I'm not specifically talking to you, right? I'm speaking for the vast majority, the other 99 or 98% of us, right? Since we only hold 2%. The elder Claude Anderson, peace to the guy, he say we only hold 1/2 of 1% of this nation's wealth. But again, I always tell y'all, if we make up 13% of the nation population, we supposed to hold 13% of the nation's wealth. So when y'all, this the other thing you fake ass scholars be out here saying, and I'm about to get on your ass about. Y'all be out here talking about, oh, if we only just spent with ourselves, or we just quit, keep our dollars over here, we have a 1.5 or whatever, $1.5 trillion, or $1 trillion, or $2 trillion, or $1.9 trillion of spending wealth that we spend every year. That ain't no fucking money. For 40 million people, you dumb motherfuckers think 1 trillion, 1.5, 1.7 trillion. When in fact, the brothers and sisters that's out here fighting for reparations, they asking for no less than a 10. They won't take nothing under 10 trillion. So if we need 10 to 20 trillion, or 15 to 20 trillion, or 10 to 15 trillion in order to get us out of fucking perpetual fucking poverty, you think 1.5 to the little 1 trillion, 2 trillion a fucking year that we participating in a consumerism, that ain't shit. That's fucking pennies. Stop saying that. Please. Stop saying that. That little 1 trillion that we waste every motherfucking year, or 2 trillion, or whatever you want to put it in between that are fucking pennies. That's pennies versus the United States of America, who once upon a time I used to be saying they were 100 trillion. I was wrong. Based on the statistics and over the past 3 years, the studying that I've been doing, these motherfuckers worth 300 trillion. So you think that they don't have the power, the coin, to give us our little 20 trillion? Being that, again, we make up 13% of the nation's population, we should hold 13% of the nation's wealth. So what is 13%? We'll just say 250 trillion. I ain't even did the math on that. Because, again, originally my numbers was wrong when it came to the actual wealth of this corporation known as United States of America, Inc. But if we make up 13% of the population, y'all out here talking about this 1 trillion that we spend. If you don't be quiet, the problem is the consumer, the consumerist mindset that we have, that Christmas, Thanksgiving, holidays that, or their holy days, that again are about not just consumerism, but capitalism. You understand? They're corporate entities. Look at the picture. The picture say it all to you. When you talking about you going to vote for a governor, you understand you going to vote for somebody who's supposed to oversee what this corporate structure finances is. That governor is in charge of making sure that this particular subsidiary known as Nebraska is receiving its annual budget from Washington, D.C. on an annual basis. Right? These people is doing business. Everything that they say and do is business talk. We're going to do an amendment. We're going to set up this code for this. You understand? We're going to restrict this. That is business talk. But again, they have the right to do business. You understand? I'm not going to necessarily say that they have the right to do business on this land, being that their mandate has expired, right? There's an expiration date to any of this shit. You know what I mean? And I don't want to talk about treaties. One of my brothers, we was ready to, no, we wasn't. We was going at it a little bit, but not much, because again, when y'all start talking about treaties, I don't want to hear that shit. And I'll explain to you why. You say that this is a patriarchal system, and it goes against what our ancestors did, because our ancestors had a matriarch system, right? That's what you taught me. That's what you said, right? But you gonna talk to me about some Islamic Arabic ass treaties or some French ass fucking treaties that don't got Big Mama signature nowhere on there. It don't have her endorsement. Big Mama didn't endorse that shit. You know what I mean? So I don't want to be hearing about that shit. Even though, again, if you look at some of the documents that I have made public record concerning my affairs that I want to be public record, like the Treaty of Holmes. The Holmes Camp Treaty is a treaty. It's been a long time, y'all. I'm rusty. I'm not even in denial with shit. But when you have been um when you have been putting shit on a record for as long as I've been doing it, whether it's a notification by way of affidavit, a declaration, a proclamation, or however the fuck you did it, I've been doing this shit too long. I have not filed a document in a long time. You know what I mean? I come from a set of elders where we would do stuff like everybody in our set is a notary, right? We was doing shit like that 20 years ago. You understand? I was never a notary and shit, for the reason. What reason do you think? Why y'all think I didn't become a notary? It only cost $50 back in the day. I don't know what the shit costs now. You know what I'm saying? But again, being that we were active, all of the brothers and sisters who I came up with who were allowed to, you know what I mean, get that seal or whatnot, they got it. So I don't have no issue with getting anything notarized, right? So again, the purpose is to stop the glorification of the shit that you shouldn't be fucking glorifying, right? Meaning, these entertainers that already sold they soul, they kissed the ring, they ate the ass already. And again, it's Yada, is he an only child? I kind of get he an only child vibe from him. You know what I'm saying? This nigga cry about everything. What I say on here? And see, wait, I'm gonna let y'all see this. I'm gonna let you see this. We gonna go on and mess on my page for a minute. What time is it? I'm about to go watch BMF. Yep, I watch BMF. I watch Love and Hip Hop. I watch Black Ink New York. That's all my children, my days of my life, my General Hospital. You know what I'm saying? If I'm gonna be entertained by that type of shit, you know what I mean? That I know is fake, I know it's scripted. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna enjoy it that way. I'm not about to torture myself arguing with y'all about that fake satire ass shit that y'all done got from the racist neo-Nazi skinhead KKK motherfuckers that hate you, and you spreading it around and shit. You in love with, oh shit, look here, look here, look here, look at here. My people, this is the bill. See, I tried to do like 2-3 different bills this evening, not intentionally. You know what I'm saying? I was having some audio issues earlier or whatnot. So I'll put the shit on and took it right back off. Hold on. All right, here we go. Now, y'all remember Homie the Clown? Y'all remember Homie the Clown? And I done call your boy Ye all kind of clown shows and Oreos, because he's a clown show and an Oreo to me, right? To me. You sell out all the way out. The Kardashians gone, you know what I mean? And the people he mad at who he been hiring for years, who he's been willingly, the same Jews, I'ma say it, that he crying about, he been doing business with them for years. Right? Just imagine had Ye got his way, meaning be given ownership of his designs and everything, and have a joint partnership with Adidas the way he wanted to have a joint partnership with them, he wouldn't he'd still be spitting in your face, right? He wouldn't be out here snitching the way he fucking snitching. Had the Jews again and Adidas gave him the type of ownership or partnership that he fucking wanted. But so he like, since y'all ain't gonna give me what I want, I'm gonna snitch. I'm gonna tell. Do you trust a grown man who act like that? But again, let's back up. I've been calling him a clown show, and an Oreo, right? You remember Homie the Clown? Remember Homie the Clown, right? Homie the Clown don't mess around, right? Remember when Homie the Clown went corporate? Homie the Clown went corporate and everybody was mad at him. Homie, you a sellout now, homie. Homie, you a Oreo now, homie. Then homie the clown got up to the top. He went to go meet the man. Homie the clown gets to meet the man. Remember when Ye went and met Trump? Well, when they showed it to us, right? When he went and met Trump. Remember homie clown? Went and met the man. He had his tie on. He had his suit on and shit. What did homie the clown do? Homie the clown bopped the fuck out the man. That's what homie the clown did. That's what he did. Homie the clown was like, bop. Homie don't play that. But when Ye, that clown, because he not homie the clown, he Oreo the clown. He the clown show Oreo. When he went to go meet the man, which is Trump, the CEO of the big corporation, you know what I mean? Right? Ye put his hat on. He put the Trump hat on, make America great again. He hugged all on Trump. That's what Ye did. He the clown show Oreo. He not homie the clown. He hugged on him and was like, I look up to him. He's like a father figure to me. That's why he Oreo the clown. He'll never be homie the clown, right? Never. Ye, again, he is clown show Oreo. Because when he got to the man, he didn't bop that motherfucker, right? He playing a mirror show on y'all. He saying, he like the man ain't the problem, right? He gonna put the problem on the money changers that he been changing money with. You know what I'm saying? And probably participating in all type of rituals or whatnot. The ritual was you saying that you were Jew or Hebrew, but you marry a bitch. And I'm saying a bitch because that's what Jesus called a pale woman in the Bible. Called her a dog, right? Female dog, you know what I'm talking about? Romulus and Remus, I showed y'all the picture 1,000 times. They done went from sucking on the breast of a she-wolf to sucking on a titty of Big Mama. They got their DNA up off of us to the point to where they can survive up under the sun now a little bit. They still get burnt up, but they don't die. You know, like the real ancient days. Shit, y'all antiquity might not be, to the level of, the things that I consider to be ancient, is not 5,000 years ago. To me, that's not ancient times. Right? It's a long time ago. It's a long time ago, but it ain't, you know what I'm talking about? I'm talking Anunnaki. I'm talking Nakaus. Fifth dimensional. High vibrating frequencies. Right? Fitting mansions inside of houses. Can you fit a mansion inside of a house? Right? I shouldn't even have to expound, you know what I mean, on what I'm talking about if you really got knowledge of self. And I say within my houses is many mansions, right? See, the Cretans, y'all, you think you following them. Now, unless I'm specifically talking about the invaders and I'm saying Cretin, you know what I'm saying? It's not always a negative. You know what I mean? Because when we speak of pagan worship and pagan things that, you know what I'm saying, we have a preference towards over something that's Cretan. That's, Cretinist type shit. You know what I'm saying? Again, what's it? You see, I ain't got no help. I can't even look over here and get no help. Y'all know how I be with words. Typhon, I think that's the name of it. Oh shit! Speaking of, I'm glad I said something in a Mandarin language. Hold up, y'all. I'm glad I said that. Hold on. Again, now y'all be tripping on me talking shit about Sidney Poitier, but you know what I'm saying. He married a pale face too. Now, being that was, back a long time ago, I don't have any information as to how that ended, but you know where his wealth went. Period. I just don't have to respect shit like that. It's your boy Edie. I mean, somebody messed his name up. It wasn't me. Here they go again with they statutes and codes and you know what I'm talking about. Let's see. What's this? Title 28, Section 843, imprisonment for a debt. You know what I'm saying? This come directly out the Wayne State Law Library, 2006. 2006 edition. Wayne State Law Library. Given to me by Brother Henzik. Bobby used to call him number one. That's all right. He's number one all he want to. I'm the baby. I'm the protege. Oh, they Bobby. Le Bobby. Roberto Umberto. Uh-oh. So, hold on. This ain't what I was looking for. Now, imagine you get popped with, was it 100 pounds or 1,000 pounds? Let's see. It's on here. It always do this, y'all. Every time I'm trying to find something. And I know y'all ready to go watch BMF. Big Meech. Southwest T. What is this? Something I wasn't sharing. Okay. There go your fiat. Let's see. Wait, yeah, and this needs to be right next to that map I just had up. See this? Letter A, that's Boston. So you got a K on here, so that's Dallas. That's the Federal Reserve Bank in Dallas, out of Dallas. This is all representation of them doing business. Now the occult, things that are on the bills or whatnot, the pyramids and all of that, this is they seal. You put what the fuck you want on your seal. Now, as to an original government already being here, you got to understand the way that our ancestors, participated in bartering and trading and government as far as positioning. You got chiefs, you got your clan mothers, you got the queen mother, you know what I'm talking about? You got sheriffs, you got various positions, what's the word? Maku. It's another word for chief, like sheriff, for sheriff. Or sheik, my bad. Sheik for chief. And I like Maku the most, so we'll just go with that. You know what I'm saying? You have the matriarch basically responsible for creating the laws, and you have the men, the law enforcers. Their responsibility is to enforce those laws, right? Never in the history of successful nations that were prosperous, melanated nations or clans, if you will. I really don't too much use the word tribes, you know what I'm saying? Lived prosperously for eons, right? Without having to incorporate millions of so-called laws. No, I don't want to say civilized. No righteous, sane people on the earth need millions of codes and statutes and acts and what they call laws and policies in order to live harmonious. That just does not exist. But it exists right here because these people took their business practices in, by all, I ain't gonna say by all means, but by all right. When you open up a business, you're gonna, through trial and error, learn what type of rules to implement in order to rule. You know what I mean? So the way that they rule and all of these millions, nobody knows all of this shit. And it makes no sense. They have profited off of everything that they possibly can, and on an annual basis, they create another 100,000 of these goddamn rules with the purpose. It has a purpose. The purpose is to continue to build wealth for them at the subjugation, excuse me, of our people. You know why? Is because that's the inception of they shit. That's the origins of it. That's how they have been doing business forever. Which is, again, this is the very reason why they have the largest prison population on the earth, barring no other nation. Okay? Now let's closely examine that. How many billion of people do China got? We got like 300 million people here, right? This is 10 times your population. But yet you have more people in prison than countries who supersede you in numbers of citizens or subjects or persons or even people, if you will. So with that being a fact that we know is a fact, this should make y'all comprehend why their business practices are what they are, which is based on creating more rules and policies in order to continue their systematic racism. Because that's all it is. It's a system. But it's a system that we as a people should not be forced to participate in. You know why? Because even though I understand that the Cherokee Nation, and even if I say the Apache Nation or whatnot, they have a clip sovereignty. They have clip sovereignty. Why do they have clip sovereignty? Well, it's because federally, with them being federally recognized and being in contract with this corporation, they get benefits. But at the same time, although they cannot come, like how the police harass us and shit because you driving down Finkel, or you are driving down Crenshaw, or you driving down Michigan Avenue, wherever you at, and I'm talking about, they don't come on their land and do that, right? Because they have their own land. But if they want to utilize something like, and don't quote me on it, if it's not eminent domain, it's something that the federal, even the state, whatever. Let's say, like, you know, it. I can use Michigan because it's they got reservations and shit here. They got casinos and reservations here, right? If let's just use eminent domain since I can't think of nothing right now. You know what I'm saying? And they want to, you know, unlawfully, because most of the shit that they do is unlawful anyway. Speaking of the state of Michigan in particular, take a portion of the land of the so-called what's their name here? Chippewa. Say they own some Chippewa land up here in Michigan and they want to, you know, take some of their trees or whatever the fuck. The same way they try to do to the Lakota with the pipelines or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? The Lakota had to incorporate help from the other clans or other nations or other tribes to help them. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they had to, and that goes to show you if they can fight, they can organize and come together in unison. You know what I'm saying? We can accomplish some of those same things. Y'all just got to stop being so fucking scary. Y'all just stop being scary. And we're going to deal with this last video and I'm out. Let me see where it's at. Take me down. Probably don't want to even put that up yet either. Nah, I was talking about 1,000 pounds. What I got? It was 100 pounds. All right. Now you got 2 suspects found with 100 pounds of cannabis sativa. See, that's why they like to call it marijuana. That marijuana word, it puts it in some type of legal jurisdiction or something like that. Now, if you asked me this about 16, 17 years ago, I'd be able to talk you to death, but I'm rusty. But that's, you know, actually, to my understanding, it's not just, okay, marijuana is what? A Spanish word or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Just think about it. They got hemp. They call the shit hemp. They call it pot. They call it cannabis. They got all these various fucking names. You know what I'm saying? But when you're dealing with law enforcement, you never hear them use the word cannabis ever, 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 ever. They always use the word marijuana. So back in the day, that was very interesting to me, and I went on a deep dive studying as to why and what was the relevance and whatever. And it's the same with anything. It's the same way I tell y'all about. Okay, say you getting harassed by the policy enforcers, aka the police, right? You know what I'm saying? And you it's somebody else in your car with you, right? They always refer to that person as a passenger, right? Which is wrong. That person is a guest. That's two different words, seem similar, you know what I'm talking about? But you're so accustomed to the word passenger that your dumb ass just keeps saying you will be like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about? You will respond to being called a passenger in someone's car, you know what I mean? Because you don't fucking know no better. I ain't even mad at you, but I'm here to tell you better. The better is this. If you're a passenger, the word passenger means that within law, it means that you are participating in a for hire situation, like you're on in a cab driver or Uber or what y'all call that shit, a Lyft or something like that. It means that you're paying whoever is navigating or driving, you know what I'm talking about, to take you here and there and whatever. You're paying for a service. That's what a passenger is. Someone who is a guest in my car is just a guest in my car because I want them in my car, right? But a passenger, again, you know what I'm saying, that puts you in a particular legal status, which gives them a particular amount of jurisdiction because they're doing business. This is how they do business. That's why they have executive orders and administrative this, and you know what I'm talking about? But my thing is, I don't eat McDonald's. You know what I'm talking about? I don't do business with the enemies of my ancestors. That's the number one thing you got to keep on your tongue. You know what I mean? You forcing me by way of arms and military force because you're here, you know what I'm talking about? Based off of military occupation. They are military occupiers. Because without the arms and the force, we would have been, you know what I mean? Every time we build something, and whether you're talking about Wall Street, whether you're talking about any of the other successful melanated towns that will rebirth because the shit was always ours, what happened? The same shit that y'all seeing happen with Kanye. You know what I'm talking about? Even though, you know what I mean, he kissed the ring, he married one of they people, and so on and so forth. It's not the same situation, but you see what they do. One button. If I'm printing the fiat and I'm putting you citizens and you subjects are the collateral for this debt that we have with the Federal Reserve and this inflation. And are they doing business? Don't that sound like business talk to you? When McDonald's is in a particular predicament, what do? They make the burgers cost more, right? So what is this country, this corporation, this cartel, this criminal enterprise, what are they doing with their inflation and their fiat? It's a business. It's a business. They have monopolized shit. So, we do have a choice. Now, y'all in that 1.7 trillion or 1.5 trillion that y'all spend a year, again, that ain't shit. But if we are organized enough to take all of our little coins, you know what I mean, and invest them in us and find a way, which it is real simple. Do you want to be a subject citizen or would you rather be a sovereign? Right? Would you rather be an American national or would you rather be a 14th Amendment citizen subject? You want civil rights or you want human rights? Are you down for self-determination? I ain't talking about the new Atlantic Charter. I'm talking about the original Atlantic Charter, right? Shit is simple. So again, 100 pounds of marijuana transported by way of the airport and the charges are dropped, right? How do y'all think the charges got dropped? Why do you think the charges got dropped? And what race is it? How they say that shit on the Breakfast Club? What race is they? How do they say that shit? 100 pounds. Let that be you or me. And see what had happened. Is it gonna show me? Oh man, come on. Yeah.
An unexpected outcome to a pair of drug busts involving hundreds of pounds of marijuana. The suspects were accused of trafficking the drugs through the Jacksonville International Airport. News 4 Jax reporter Eric Abenier joins us live from the airport to explain what happened.
Well, Scott, all that marijuana was stuffed into suitcases and then flown from California here to Jacksonville International Airport. And once those suitcases were taken from this baggage claim area, they were placed into vehicles that were later pulled over after they left the airport. Back in November of last year, Dijon Wang and Hugh Lee were pulled over and arrested by Florida Highway Patrol when they were caught with 240 pounds of marijuana stuffed in suitcases. Both men were facing mandatory minimums of 3 years in prison if convicted on charges of trafficking marijuana, but the charges were reduced to possession with an intent to sell, and that's what the men pled guilty to and only received 1 year of house arrest followed by 2 years of probation. Local attorney John Hausbauer is not affiliated with the case, but is an expert on legal defense pertaining to drug charges. He says getting caught with 240 pounds of marijuana doesn't always lead to a slap on the wrist, but in this case,
there could have been information provided to the government, some degree of cooperation. There's always some backstory there to arrive at that type of disposition.
And then there's the case of Artez Ward and Michael Lewis, who were arrested after they left the airport and were pulled over with 125 pounds of marijuana stuffed in suitcases. They were also facing marijuana trafficking charges, but the charges were dropped. In this disposition letter, the prosecutor said because the defendants never made any comments to the trooper that pulled them over, and because there was no body cam video, the prosecutor could not prove who the suitcases belonged to. Hausbauer says if the prosecutor had surveillance video from the airport baggage claim, prosecutor would have likely had a stronger case to pursue.
That would have tied the suitcases to these individuals. But
so basically, you heard both names, a Dijon something, and then you heard a Mandarin or an Asian sounding name, right? They say somebody gave us some information. You see, they got the Asian guy picture here. They got his picture. Who was this? You know what I'm saying? That was the guy with the French sounding name, Dijon something. Know what I'm talking about? So we know who snitched. Basically, that's how you sum that up. But again, had this been, you know what I'm saying, you or me in Florida, of all places, Florida, you know what the results would have been. We all know. Yeah. So take this verse home with you, and maybe we do this mañana. Buenos noches. Buenos noches.
Supreme.
Shock.
Etymology. They say I'm dope, I said I'm smoke, fire, blowing air, carbon, earth, solid, water, wet. I'm steady beat, a sister soldier that dies effects. So gone with all that hoopla and rah-rah, unless you talking about Atun, Namuna, Amara, pineal glands, all see your eyes. We call the third eye, we came to build, not pay your bill. Sling them in the municipality, city seals like roadkill, descendants of Asian mound builders. Not supposed to need encyclopedias, genetically encoded with 720. We got amnesia, claiming we Christian Cretins in love with Yahweh, Muhammad, and Jesus. But you was living inside of God when you was a fetus. But believers and never believers, non-believers, cause we don't be lying, shaking hands and taking oaths with demons.
Supreme.
Shock.
Say I'm dope, I said I'm smoke, fire, blowing air, carbon, earth, solid, water, wet. I'm steady beat, a sister soldier that dies effects. So gone with all that hoopla and rah-rah. Unless you talking about Atun, Namuna, Amara, pineal glands, all seeing eyes. We call the third eye. We came to build, not pay your bill. Sling them in the municipality, city seals like roadkill, descendants of ancient mound builders. Not supposed to need encyclopedias, genetically encoded with 720. We got amnesia, claiming we Christian Cretins in love with Yahweh, Muhammad, and Jesus. But you was living inside of God when you was a fetus. But believers and never believers, non-believers, cause